Our first guest is not from traditional company which manages the physical location or traditional channels. He is from the pure player, the one who focus to optimize customer journey and not to manage mix of the channels. His prime focus is how to compete on algorithms, how to bring the best digital experience. I would like to welcome Chief Digital Officer of e-Luscious, Bas Spierenburg. Welcome.
Thank you very much. It is a big pleasure of being here this morning and share hopefully some great insights.
Bas, before we will get into the deep discussion about commerce, about digital, and I know you are guru of that topic, I would like to know you personally. Who are you outside the work?
All right. My name is Bas Spierenburg, 46 years of old. I'm living in Leusden, close to Amersfoort, where I grew up. Besides work, first and foremost, I'm a proud dad of a young daughter of 17, which keeps me busy and gives me a lot of lessons to learn in life. Next to that, I love to travel, explore the world, visit new countries, and especially meet new cultures. And next to that, I love great food because food is bringing people together.
Indian food as well?
Definitely.
Okay.
Been there a couple of times, so the spiciness is coming to me during those trips, which I love. And I think food is about sharing together and making new memories. And next to that, I'm a big football fan, and that's not just about watching it, but also the stories around it, the emotions, and the community feeling. And I think that combination of all those factors gives me a nice work-private balance.
If you would be, let's say, not in a digital commerce area, what would you be doing?
Nice question. If I take it really outside the ordinary, I think I would be a private chef.
Okay, so food is really your passion.
So I think in combining all kinds of ingredients, it's like in commerce, you need to bring all the disciplines together to make a great experience. And what I like to do with food is, bringing all the ingredients together at the table to serve my guests there a pleasant event with great food.
Oh, nice. For sure, you are a chef of digital commerce.
Yeah.
But I would like to understand, as a buyer, what is the most unusual thing you bought ever online?
Unusual. I think like a lot of customers, that must be a Temu order where online it looked great. It came in as expected. But when I unpacked the box, it was not what I expected.
Okay.
I think that reminds me in a way that you can convenience is easy to scale, but quality and trust is much harder to gain.
Okay, now fair. So Bas, as a CDO, what is your real job? Technology, people, or process?
I think it's even different. It's creating clarity in complexity. So for me, those three elements are definitely coming together. So for me, it's first about setting the direction. What is the strategy of the company? What kind of technology choices are we making? What kind of trade-offs do we need to make? And especially also deciding what not to do. So that for me is always the first. Then it's about making choices. Then prioritization is made to reach the objective. I think within technology, there are almost always more wishes than there are people to accomplish those.
Right.
And then obviously at last is putting it in motion, but also make adjustments because technology is changing, the world around us is changing, so you need to steer the ship constantly. As a company, it's my role, or within the company, it's my role to make the right adjustments. And for that, we need people and processes and technology all together.
And what is your role toward customers as a CDO?
It always starts with the customer. You need always, especially in digital commerce, put your customer first because they decide how they will shop with you. They decide their own journeys and take it from there. So that's what I said earlier. You always backwards engineer that process, starting with the customer in mind.
What is more difficult to change, customer behavior or organization?
Now, customer behavior will not change anyhow because they will decide, and that's the beauty of being in commerce. So obviously, to constantly adjust your organization to those changes is not easy, but that's the fun part of a CDO role.
Oh, hey, for our viewers who don't know yet, e-Luscious, can you please say something about it in a 1 minute?
Of course. e-Luscious is a pure play e-commerce company, and we sell wine, coffee, and pet care via 18 different web shops in 4 different markets. So for us, commerce is much more than only selling products online. It's really organizing and operating that full end-to-end journey.
Okay.
And it's different, so we offer different propositions. So if you're looking at wine, we have a value-driven proposition, a community brand, and a more premium experience to our customers. So it's a wide range of customer journeys which we cover, and also different propositions. And we are also extremely proud on our own brands. So next to being a commerce player, we are also the manufacturer of our own brands, which makes it very special and nice. Nicely to operate in.
Oh, cool. That sounds good.
Yeah.
And as you are a pure player, how do you strategize different from the traditional player, from offline players or omnichannel players?
I think if you're looking at commerce, we are obviously start organizing from the consumer, but then backwards. And that comes with a lot of speed and agility. And we don't have the legacy systems like a lot of omnichannel players out there in the market. And I think the big difference, obviously, they come from a situation where they always have been operating in single channels with their operating models behind it. And then suddenly, they need to start operating omni-channel, where we have been starting originally from a different situation onwards.
Right. So a lot of company, if you go in an industry, in a market, are focusing on selling products. Few focus on building a customer experience. Where e-Luscious wants to play in that regard?
It's a good question. I think in the end, commerce is the experience, but the big differentiator for us is product, and especially our own products, because more and more, I think, in commerce, the experiences are leveraged more and more between the different companies. Everyone is expecting free shipment, next day delivery. So it's very hard on differentiate yourself in that area. Definitely personalization is playing a role on our side, but I think the big differentiator on our side is coming from our products.
Okay, no, agree. I mean that creates your unique position in a market, but also in the last few years, a lot is changing in the commerce world. What do you think? What are the biggest changes that you observed in the last 5 years? Let's call it.
In commerce, that's quite a while, five years. But if I'm thinking, looking back in the last 5 years, that the rules of commerce have changed and shifted multiple times. I think the first one I remembered was COVID, obviously, where I think complete online segments customer segments changed and shift online in just a few months. So that changed the world rapidly. Those customers shopping online raised the bar in setting the expectations. So people expected more and more from commerce players in that area. And I think the second shift came after COVID, when the growth slowed down. There came a high pressure on due to the inflation on margins. So we definitely need to start operating in a different way. And e-commerce companies and commerce companies are really working now towards a sustainable and profitable business model. So that changed rapidly. And the last thing I can think about is obviously the rise of AI, which fundamentally changed in how we are operating customer service, for example, but also content generation at scale and those kind of thing. And then obviously agentic commerce is just around the corner and will shift and make the next shift there.
Very good you talk about COVID, because I also remember the time. All of a sudden, digital commerce came on the mission critical path because people could not go out. Supermarket was not sure how to deal with the situation. So everybody was going online. Huge spike in the traffic. How was it for e-Luscious at that time? Like, did you have the same?
Actually, for us, it has been a great period because everyone was starting working from home and needed coffee and a good glass of wine to finish off the day. So we saw our business growing very rapidly. And obviously, we needed to transform a bit internally as well, working from home. And our biggest concern at that time was the supply, to make sure that we could deliver the goods to people, but especially to get the stock in to supply.
Right. And then you talk about latest changes in AI and agentic commerce.
Yeah.
Is e-Luscious start exploring those areas as well?
Yeah, definitely. So I think on areas where you see use cases kicking in the areas of customer service, content generation, demand forecast planning, and also just making business decisions internally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If I, let's say, ask you that one technology adoption that paid off best or the most to e-Luscious, which technology can you think of? And it could be technology, it could be tool, it could be platform, it could be something that you say, hey, that really created impact either as a customer experience or operational efficiency or something else.
No, I think a good use case there is the AI transformation at customer service. So we have been really looking at what is the work an agent is doing on a daily basis, and with the use of AI, how, for example, can we decrease the handling time. So with the first use cases, actually, we have decreased the average handling time of incoming emails with 30%.
Right.
Routing of incoming emails went differently, and also the prioritization of work. And the outcome has been a 40% FTE reduction already in the first year there. And for me, that's not the case about moving out those people, but more that we could focus with the people at hand at the use cases which had the most human advisory needed.
Right. And I think we are hearing AI nowadays a lot and everywhere. What do you think is the best use case in your view or in your understanding of AI? And it need not to be digital commerce, it could be outside as well, but as a general perspective of AI.
No, I think in general it's changing so fundamentally on how we work and will operate in the future, because I firmly believe that everyone will have their own agents in the future to manage and in their daily work life, but also I think in private lives you've seen ChatGPT, Gemini being used by so many people for so many use cases already. So I think from a technology perspective, this will be and is already the big game changer at the moment.
Right. And what is your view? How it is going to affect the workforce or organization? How will they organize in the future? Do you foresee changes on that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it will be a gigantic game changer in the sense that roles and responsibility will shift major even working in teams. So I think it will be more based on processes instead of just being in your own role. You will manage a whole process from A to Z in the future. So there, I think how people and organizations are currently being organized will change as well.
Right. And in those processes, will it be only operated by the humans, or it will be humans and agents and only the agents, and you are only overlooking the processes?
No, I don't think that AI will replace humans. Human will still play a very critical factor in that sense. But I think the way people are currently working will change fundamentally. So.
Okay, yeah. And sometimes does it make you nervous, curious, or what sort of emotions does it belong?
It's for me just curiosity, because I like those changes, especially when technology is playing a big role. And I think especially in our area that agentic commerce will fundamentally change how consumers will shop online and not traditionally visit all kinds of web shops, but more go into the ecosystem of a large language model, whether it's indeed ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude, and then shop or do their complete transaction even within the LLM. So for example, discovery, browsing, making their choice, and even the checkout will happen there.
Right. And what do you think? How long is it going to take for brands to transition there? Or I don't know what sort of...
No, I think it goes quick already. Obviously, in the US, OpenAI already opened for commerce. So I think that will come to Europe quite quickly. And then we need to see how quickly that will be adopted by consumers there. But I think that will definitely transition in 1 to 3 years from now.
So the journey may look like okay, I have 4 members in my family. I would like to order the best coffee beans. Decide for me, order me, and everything is done on behalf of you, agentic commerce.
Exactly.
Oh wow! What we are gonna do then?
We will orchestrate those journeys, because obviously a new ecosystem will arise. So we need to adapt our technology, the way we work internally, completely to those new ecosystems. So I think it will be much more on trust on the operational excellence of organizations to accommodate for those journeys.
Right. But a few years ago, there was a quite hype on a metaverse. Like everything, it felt like at that time, there was sort of FOMO. If you miss that, I think you are lagging behind as a brand.
Yeah.
Do you think this AI is all hype or it's real? And then which element of this AI, because AI is a generic term, could be a hype? Do you find the elements of hype as well in this AI?
Yeah, so I don't see it as a hype. I think it's the new reality, and it will transform the way we operate quite fundamentally. Obviously, it's all about adoption in the end. So I see, especially with a lot of companies, they are still in the experimental phase, experimenting a lot with tools and not bringing that too much to production yet. And I think that will be the first new phase, that a lot of new things will be put into production, also to see the efforts coming out of it and the return on investment of it.
Right.
So and then you will see the hype is getting over a bit, and it's getting to more mainstream use.
Right.
But, there's still a long way to go there as well.
Yeah. What is your advice, the company who wants to adopt AI? Yeah. What are the few fundamental blocks they should start organizing now?
I think, first of all, it will have an impact on people, how they look at a brand, and how people speak about brands in general. Because obviously, to be found by large language model, there are different rules than previously, for example, in SEO. So people and companies should start organize themselves in that way, that they first can be found by a large language model, that they adjust their website, for example, accordingly. And then also, obviously, people should start think about one step further. If this new ecosystem will kick in, how do we organize ourselves around it? What type of roles do we have in the future? Do we have the people internally available who can fulfill those roles? Or can we transfer people in the current role to those new roles? And then, the rest will follow.
Right. From the customer perspective, I think customer already start expecting a bit of agentic commerce now. That is more or less today or maybe just tomorrow.
Yeah.
But let's think about 5 years from now. What do you think? What customer is going to expect? How do you have some vision, like where these technologies are moving?
No, I think customer expectations will only rise even more. Obviously, with having everything very at their fingertips. So I think the shopping experience for them should be even more seamless than today. So in 5 years, I think indeed agentic commerce is a kind of mainstream platform for people to shop online, even potentially connected with their home devices.
Right.
And I even foresee that people will get their own personal assistant via AI, who then will be your daily companion in organizing your life, but also to shop for you, book your holidays, plan.
I'm really looking forward for my day where my refrigerator is going to order a grocery.
Exactly.
I'm just going to approve it on a Sunday evening, and the rest is managed for me.
Yeah, and that will happen.
Oh, cool, cool. Of course, we are talking about AI and everything we need around it. But if we will go of today's truth, where web shop is still playing an important role,
yeah,
many brands face a challenge of speed of innovation. Then we know composable commerce is a thing that many companies, many brands are adopting.
Mm-hmm.
It brings a lot of flexibility, freedom, but also complexity.
Yeah.
Because you have to deal with many systems, they have to interact with each other, data consistency and everything else. What is your view on this? Is it a good choice to go, or what is your view on this whole topic?
No, I think obviously innovation is always good, but it should not be an objective on itself. So I think it should always follow a strategy there. So, and I think, that's the same with technology. Technology is an enabler and should not become the objective. So, and that is what I see a lot of companies are struggling with. So a lot of people are choosing now for a visible transformation with new shiny tools, new front ends, even complete replatforming projects. But if the objective is not following your strategy, then that for me is definitely not a good choice. And you are therefore even over-engineering. For me, it's about first, are companies really aligned on their strategy from top to bottom in the organization, and are the business plans following that strategy? And then all the enablers like innovation can follow there.
Okay, and is e-Luscious as a brand following a principles of composable architecture, or what is their take on this?
Yeah, so also there, when we set up our new platform, we really looked first of all at the business objectives following from our new strategy, and actually the architectural is following those principles.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing quite some insight. But now we are going a little bit on a lighter, fun part of this conversation. So it's a rapid fire round.
Yeah, let's bring it on.
I'm not going to give you time to think much.
Okay.
So let me ask you.
Yeah.
One metric that you see every day morning as your first thing.
Site conversion.
Cool. Build or buy? What is your first instinct?
Buy.
Speed or perfection?
Speed.
Feature you secretly wants to remove from your platform?
Now, I think it's not a feature, but it's a longer answer to your question. But what I see happening is that a lot of companies always are over-engineering on the edge cases. And I think you need to be staying much more to the core processes. So what I want to remove from our platform are all the edge cases.
Oh, no,
yeah,
cool. No, right answer is for such a perfect answer. You can take your time, Yeah. Last in this series, a brand whose digital experience you admire.
I'm not so sure whether it's the digital experience, but what I like about Coolblue is their end-to-end journey. So I always love to see it from an end-to-end journey, because it's simply not stopping at the purchase made online, but it goes from that complete journey.
I can just second it. I'm also a big fan of Coolblue, to be very honest. Yeah. So now we are ending toward or heading toward the end of this conversation. Last few questions.
Yeah.
What keeps you awake at night professionally?
I think the curiosity of the changes which will come. So I'm very much looking forward on the speed of innovation which AI will bring to the occasion, and the step agentic commerce will make to fundamentally change how people shop, and then especially how that will impact organizations in how we are structured, how we operationally are organized, how we look at customer journeys, the new ecosystem.
Thank you for bringing so many insights. But our viewers, if they are going to remember only one idea, one thing from this conversation, what is the one thing you want to point out?
Learn fast. So for me, it's all about speed and agility. So really start to test and learn fast, and then try out new things, and then start implementing those.
Thank you, Bas, for inspiring conversation. I learned a lot out of it. I'm pretty sure my viewers is also going to learn a lot from this conversation.
Thanks a lot for having me. It was a big pleasure.
Thank you for watching first episode of Neotalk. Let's talk, let's inspire, let's share.